All right, well, let's move along to story number 2.
Story number 2 has been a large story in the alternative media for the past few days, and this was one that it took me a little bit to try and figure out what the new angle on this story was. But we're going to take this from Washington's blog. The SEC, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission, says government destroyed documents regarding pre-9/11 put options. So let's jump back to almost 9 years ago, September 19th, 2001. CBS News reported, sources tell CBS News that the afternoon before the attack, alarm bells were sounding over unusual trading in the U.S. stock options market. An extraordinary number of trades were betting that American Airlines stock prices would fall. The trades are called puts, and on and on. And again, folks, before we even dive further into this, we'll provide a lot of the contextual links for you to do more research, most definitely to historycommons.org and their complete 9/11 timeline. But if we scroll down a ways, and Washington's blog is great giving all the information, all the backstories, and it goes through a lot of the firms and other companies and economic and otherwise looking into the insider trading, the pre-9/11 insider trading. So what gets to the heart of the matter is, jumping down, as we mentioned, the effort to track down the source of these puts was quite substantial. And what were the results and details of the investigation? Apparently, we'll never know. Specifically, David Callahan, executive editor of Smart CEO, submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the SEC regarding the pre-9/11 put options, and the SEC responded, and MaxKaiser.com has the scan of the letter. And quoting the SEC, this letter is in response to your request seeking access to and copies of documentary evidence referred to in footnote 130 of Chapter 5 of the September 11th 9/11 Commission report. We have been advised that the potentially responsive records have been destroyed. James, what's your take on this?
Wow, extremely important and sensitive documents relating to the most important event in the last few decades of the political life of America have been destroyed. I wonder why that is. Absolutely, this, as I think my listeners will know and your listeners will know, the 9/11 inside trading story is an extremely important one, and one that we should be looking into and trying to get more information about. So my hat's off to everyone who's making Freedom of Information Act requests on this topic. Even if they are fruitless. But certainly it's just such an important topic, and I still continue to discover more and more about this. We already know so much about how the systems in the World Trade Center were being used on that day to funnel money out the back doors via various computer programs and things, and this relates to things like whistleblowers, Richard Grove and Indira Singh we're talking about. We also know that there were companies hired in the wake of the disaster to go through the hard drives that were collected from the rubble and to try to find out about what was going on in the World Trade Center computer-wise in the minutes and hours before the collapse, and I have a video up on my YouTube channel about that I would suggest people check out. It's just so much information continues to come out on this extremely important topic. Follow the money. So definitely people need to be looking into this story, and let me use this as an opportunity to plug Washington's blog, because he always puts in so much information and so many links. It's always a great resource, especially for people who maybe are new to this information, because there's just so much background info in all of his articles.
And he generally kind of stays away from hyperbole. It's not very flashy. It's just boom, boom, boom. Here's the info. Here's the documentation. This, to me, also is one of those stories that we'll have to dig in the archives and, again, provide that information. Wasn't it just a few months ago that the story came out that the SEC said, oh, there was no insider trading. We had all our guys investigated. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, but they can't give us the documentation that actually proves that. Surprise,
exactly,
surprise.
Because it's been destroyed.
Yeah. Funny how that works.